type.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution! Brought to you by BlackRifleCoffee.com.
Ned? Needle Nose Ned? Ned Ryerson? Holy shit! It's fucking Groundhog's Day, Jabes. Boom. Coming to the stage, Alexis.
You guys, have you missed me?
Jabes against the machine. What's going on?
Nothing much. It's good to be back.
Oh, it's good.
I've missed all the festivities.
Yeah, you have.
All of the fun, all of the drinking.
Yeah.
All of the restaurants.
A lot of it. A lot of it.
How much fun did you guys have?
Had a blast. We had a absolute blast. I mean, you want to talk about what kind of blast we had? One of the greatest times of my entire life. And there was this one time where I'm kidding.
It was though. It sounded like it was.
I'm gonna be realsies though. I think here's what you really missed. I think you missed out on Joe's. Joe's Stone Crab.
Oh, I was like, nope. What jokes did I miss out?
No.
Tell me one.
Definitely not jokes.
Come on.
I think you missed out on Joe's Stone Crab. I think that's what you were missing. To be honest with you,
it's one of the only things I cared about. I don't want to say it's the only thing. What was the first thing I asked?
Where are you eating?
Well, yeah. I said, where are you eating tonight? Every time you called, I'm like, cool, where are you going to eat tonight?
Yeah,
and it was always
amazing. Always amazing. So, big news at the top. First of all, Strike Force Energy is on for all of 2018. Why is that big? Because that's going to feed into where we went. I went with Sean Matson. Mm-hmm. We went to Joe's Stone Crab in Vegas. And that's my fave. My end all be all. That is my seafood messiah.
You're not the only one.
Of a restaurant.
A lot of people like that place.
I feel like I'm the only one.
Yeah.
What's that Sam Smith song?
I'm the only one?
Yeah, I am. Not that I'm the only one.
I don't know a lot of Sam Smith. I don't celebrate his catalog.
Say I'm crazy.
Okay.
But you don't. I can't do that.
I think you nailed it.
Can't do that today. I can't do it ever. I will never get as high as Sam Smith. That man's had his balls squeezed at some point in his life repeatedly.
Do you know about this? The castratos, the opera singers that get their balls chopped as young boys so that can have, It's actually a theory that Michael Jackson had this time.
You want to run that back for me one more time?
They're called castratos.
Oh, okay.
Like soprano, like the baritone castrato.
Yeah.
So their balls are cut off as young boys.
Ballless, gotcha.
So that they have this, it's a really high male voice. So you don't sound like a girl and you don't have it's a very specific opera term.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look it up on YouTube. They have a bunch of videos of castratos.
I'm going to take your word for it.
You don't see it being chopped off. You see the way that they sing.
What happens?
And the way that they look. They're very feminine. They look like
weird. Women. I wouldn't have pictured that. My thing is this. When you get your balls chopped off, right?
Sure.
Let's say you don't ascend to the heights of the opera singer that you wanted to be.
Exactly.
Then you're ballless the rest of your life. Can't have children, right?
Right.
And your dream is crushed. Wouldn't you just kill yourself at that point? Like, wouldn't that be the end all be all thing? Like,
I mean, you can still have sex.
How?
I mean, you can still get an erection and have sex. You just aren't secreting anything.
Oh, that's worthless. Worthless.
This conversation possibly might be.
No, it's not at all.
More worthless.
This is what the people want. This is what the fans came to see. This puts asses in the seats, butts in the buckets.
Anyway, back to Strike Force.
Yeah. Well, no, we're gonna circle back on Strike Force in a sec here.
That? Okay.
They love it. They love it here. Because if you're gonna secrete, you might as well secrete some Strike Force.
Sure. Or if you can't secrete, might as well.
Yeah, I want to see a documentary of the ones who didn't make it and their ballless.
That would
lives.
be awesome.
Yeah, just call it ballless.
Yeah.
What is it? The LeVar Ball is the big baller brand. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see the no baller brand with just a dad who has chopped off all of his son's testicles, and they didn't make it, or maybe they did. Yeah, who knows?
I would love for HBO to do it.
Oh, real good. Be really good.
Or 0.0. What if Anthony Bourdain's?
Oh, Bourdain.
Gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of food and then also their struggle and strife.
What if they took those testicles, strung them out into like a nice noodle soup? He's always eating noodles on that show.
He does.
What's his fucking deal with that? What's with the noodles?
Like a lot of chefs have this like obsession with Asian food, and
why?
Like, I don't know. I think it's like the next thing. You know what I mean? Like you've done everything here. That's now fine. We're gonna like.
That's fine. You know what I think it is? I think it's like when like a 14-year-old white girl goes on a cruise with her parents for spring break and gets braids in her hair. That's what I think.
Like you did, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I was a grown up. I was a grown man.
Right.
And I wanted to do that because I had a perm. Ironically, a year ago today is when I got the perm. Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, lost the Super Bowl a bit. But I think it's the same thing. It's the same fascination when people go to Asia, in particular men. I wouldn't say women. When men go to Asia, it fucking changes them. Where it's just, they've had an experience like you wouldn't believe.
Do you think it's the hookers or is it the food?
Both. And I'm like, that way of life, I think when you're so beaten down in a job that you hate in America, and this is a God's honest truth, like I'm not even making a joke here. When you're so beaten down with the way your life is in America, say you have a job you hate, you're stuck in a cubicle, probably a wife that doesn't love you, that type of shit.
Sure.
And then you go on a business trip or you go over to Asia,
right?
And you're like, oh my God. This is amazing. The women are amazing. The culture's amazing. I can get massages for $20 all day long. This is amazing. This is what life should be. I'm not fucking living life, man. They're living life. Time stands still. Like that whole fucking bullshit chain of events. And I'm saying this because I've had best friends that have come back from Asia completely. I'm changed. I've seen the other ways of the world. I had a motherfucker stay from college, a fraternity brother, stay over there.
A lot of people do.
No, I mean, stayed forever. Mm-hmm. And it's like, hey, man.
Just in like the chef world, like there's a lot of people that stayed.
He was not in the chef world. He was teaching. He ended up teaching English to, fucking.
I'd go.
Thai. I think he was in Thailand.
I think there's certain parts of like Japan and China that like so
sure
like it's sensory overload / like this attention to detail and just this modern. I think it's so completely different that if you can do it, it might be like I don't know, crazy. Although the food, I don't know.
Look, I'm a big fan of Asian food. I love it. But okay. I've always loved it, so that's not going to change my life in any way.
Right.
I've been to, obviously, I lived in New York on multiple occasions. Chinatown food there is amazing. San Francisco, I've been a million times. The food in Chinatown is ridiculous. Like, could it be better over there? Maybe, probably. But still, I've had it. I love it. Like, the food is not going to change my life.
Right.
The women and all that shit. Yeah, that way of life of a subordinate woman who is servicing the man in that culture.
Yeah, because it would be just so staunchly different than what you have now.
Yeah.
That you would be
now
like,
that way of life, I can be like, oh man, I can get taken away. Yeah. Whoa. What?
I like how that's how
I'm the best.
That's how I described them going over there.
Whoa. Four on the floor, American dream. You a real big cowboy,
right?
Like that type of vibe where you're just like, yeah,
sure. And then you get some.
I had it. Fuck it. I'll take this a step further.
Some ramen.
I had. Oh yeah. Afterwards, they feed you ramen. After you get a massage, yeah, and then they're feeding you ramen.
Sure.
Fuck off. That's amazing, and that's probably what everybody gets down on. I had a buddy who, and we might have talked about this on the show. He pulled one off the stage and married her.
Pulled one off the stage.
Yeah, in Thailand.
Okay.
pulled a Taiwanese girl, or I don't know, Thai girl, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Thai boy.
Oh, Thai boy, you little lady Thai boy.
Oh, you're like Rye?
No, he went different than everybody else does. Usually they'll go like young, hot, that type of mail order sitch. He went like, this chick was like
80?
32.
75?
Huh?
Apron.
And I get that
cooking
too.
like amazing.
Oh, hungry. You hungry again.
This is really
the super
racist.
Yeah, super racist.
How we're doing these voices.
Exactly.
I think we should stop.
He fucking brought one literally off the stage.
Sure.
Home, married her, and then her family moved over here, and we were like, hey, can we meet her? Like, can we go out to dinner? Can we have hang out and have drinks together or whatever? And he goes, she's kind of still getting assimilated to this country. How about we give it like 5 or 6 months? We were like, all right, cool, okay, awesome. So 5 or 6 months goes by. We get together for like a football game at a mutual friend of ours' house. Mm-hmm. He brings her over. She is cleaning the entire house of our friend, not even my buddy that she's married to, everything. And we were like, hey, you don't have to do that. Like, this isn't your house. You don't have to clean. And my buddy was like, oh, no. She likes it. Like, this is what she does. She likes it. And I was like, oh, boy. I don't think that's... You guys are like,
where can I get one?
Well, I was looking. I was just like, I don't think this is appropriate.
Yeah.
Boy, I don't know. And
that's uncomfortable.
And he goes,
that's uncomfortable.
He goes, dude, try to stop her. And I was like, what?
So you punched her?
No.
Oh.
I was like, hey, you don't have to do that or whatever. And she was like, no, it's great. It's great. It's okay. I got it. And, it's just and I was like, oh, I got washed away in that culture for a little bit,
Sure.
And I was like, oh, man.
You're like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Okay.
But to circle it back around to Strikeforce.
Please.
Since they came on, their sponsor for another year, and it's great. I was like, why not go to Joe's to celebrate? Let's go to Joe's to celebrate. That is the best seafood in the world to me. And they only have one in Vegas and Miami right now.
Right.
And Joe's Stone Crab is the best. You missed out on that, and then you also missed out on Mastro's, aka Oceanside.
Yes.
In Vegas, and boy.
Yes.
They got one in LA, one in Malibu, one in Vegas, and now I think New York, and I believe they're adding one in Washington D.C. And it's the best. That is the best steakhouse.
Do we see one
on the
Chicago?
Planet? I saw Michael Rappaport bet Colin Hurd. Yeah, I think it's Colin Hurd.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Just continue.
Anyways, he bet him, and he was like, dude, we'll bet on this game, finest steakhouse in the land. And,
and it was, I saw
Masters.
them, they went to
Masters.
Masters.
They went to Masters, and it was just like,
the OG, right?
It.
The B Hills one?
Yeah, the OG. And that one, like, look, there's paparazzi and shit there, but you always see somebody famous. If you go ask for the upstairs, nobody knows to ask for that. They have this piano player up there that is an older gentleman, but he'll play he'll mix in like Sinatra with like Biggie.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, this is fucking dope. Where you're like, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that was the only thing I asked.
Your daughter's tied up in the Brooklyn basement. And you're like, shit.
Yeah.
All right, fuck, that's dope. So it's one of my favorite spots, not only for the atmosphere, the food too. I mean, Jesus Christ. The food's amazing. So you missed out on that in Vegas. You missed out on the live show at the MGM Grand.
Yeah. I missed out on all the people asking about me.
Tons. I was flooded.
What was it? 4, 5?
Maybe 3.
5.5?
Yeah.
They kind of started to ask me, and they were like, never mind. I don't care.
They said something with a J.
And then it was like,
I think she's the job. Yeah, the jobs report. Jobs report.
Yeah.
Jobless.
No,
and I was like, oh, did you say Jables? Jobless. How many people are jobless? And I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, if you want to get into it, I guess and so you got into a big political thing about, the employment rate and stuff like that.
Oh.
So it looked amazing. It looked fun.
Had a blast.
Randy Couture was
amazing.
Special
Pete
guests
Rose.
galore, I know.
Got to interview Pete Rose. Everybody keeps hitting me up about that Pete Rose interview. He was fucking rad, by the way. So, for the audience, like, is a real fucking person, a real legit shit dude. That guy was fucking for real.
Sure.
And he had not only that, but like He hung out afterwards and had even crazier stories where he's like, I can't tell this story on air. And I was like, what is it?
But he went crazy. I mean, he went real.
He did. That's Pete Rose. And like,
which I love.
He told me this story about Joe DiMaggio that was the greatest thing of all time. And I wish, I can understand why he didn't tell it on air. But I wish people knew about it. And like, maybe at another time, another date, I'll tell the story to people. But the Joe DiMaggio story was so legendary that I was just like, cool. And I don't know how. I don't know if it's a known thing or whatever, but if it's not, I'm going to keep it and I'll share it later. If it is a known thing and somebody, I'll tell you what, send it in. If somebody else knows the story, then I'll tell it on air because it was fucking crazy and hilarious. But Pete Rose,
he's such a Vegas legend, right? I remember
baseball legend. I mean, he was one of my favorites.
Baseball legend, but then also just like Vegas. He's like Mr. Vegas for a long time.
Long time.
So
long time. And he's been signing autographs there for years.
Yeah.
But
hard to get to as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
But he's great. And he's doing great and financially and everything else. And if you heard the show, obviously he still gambles all the time. So maybe that's why he needs the money.
I love it.
I did too.
I love it. He's just like, he has no qualms with just being like, yeah.
Yep.
Got in trouble for it?
Yeah.
Don't care?
Don't care.
Still do it.
I
love it.
Yeah.
I live in Vegas. I have the money.
It was that was one of the dream interviews where I was super stoked about.
It was good.
And he was great. But fuck. Look, we got a big show. It's Groundhog's Day. We're taping on Friday. Show airs on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. EST. Right
in the middle of the
needle nose. I know. Super Bowl. Super Bowl's this weekend. We get a lot of shit going on. We got the Super Bowl party this weekend. Not going to the game because it's 1 degree. It's one, by the way. It's one in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Made the decision earlier in the week where
that was a no.
I couldn't do it.
That was a no.
I couldn't do it. Because the one of the fun things about the Super Bowl is the fact that you get to go to the parties, the pregame, the day of. They usually have it in a warm city. Mm-hmm. Recently, they scheduled in a couple cold cities to say, hey, how would this work out? It's not working out.
And especially now, like you need people to go.
Yeah. And it's not working out. So like Press Day and ESPN is camped out at the Mall of America. Usually they do it all outdoors, outside the stadium, and they're there all week. Everything for the fans is set up there all week. They had to do it inside. It is no lie, it has been 1 degree this whole week. The president of Barstool Sports, because Barstool's throwing a huge party as well, he was like, "Look,
that'd be fun."
He was honest about it. He goes, "Look, I'm going to be real. It is fucking miserable here."
Right.
And he goes, "It's a miserable city to be in. It's a miserable city to host a Super Bowl, simply because of the weather, not the people. The people are great. Every person I've met from Minnesota is like the greatest person ever.
Oh yeah.
But the weather in the dead of fucking winter is awful." And
if the weather was nice, it would be a fun time.
It'd be a great time.
Great
like
food
in
there.
The summer. Yeah. Everybody has nothing but pleasant things to say about
right.
Minneapolis.
Except for that.
Except for the winter. And that's when the Super Bowl is played. So, his favorite team is the Patriots. And he's like, "Look, I'm here for the Patriots and they're going to win. And that's good enough for me." But, we'll go next year. Next year's in Atlanta.
Yep.
That's my hometown.
Yep.
So, I'm not going to be missing that shit. And it should be warm too. Warmer, I should say. 50s probably. Oh, James.
I can't think about the cold anymore.
Hey, the year after is in Los Angeles. Yeah, Los Angeles or
I'm missing Los Angeles right now.
Either Los Angeles or Miami. But hey, we got a big show, James. A big show. We got some sponsors though. Fuck, we've just been chatting along like two little.
I haven't seen you in forever.
I know, 2 little kittens in a tree.
You've been off with your drinking bro friends.
I know, living my life. Hey.
Oh.
I started chasing that paper.
Oh.
Okay. All right, Japes. All right.
You started it, and then you told me to stop.
I'm going to Morgan Freeman and talk you down. I'm going to talk you down from that ledge. First and foremost, blackriflecoffee.com. Wearing the sweatshirt again. Want to be clear for the audience. Not wearing the same sweatshirt every day. I have
A bunch.
30 of these fucking things. And again, it's cold. It's cold in the studio. You got the mugs. We got everything. K-Cups. Black Rifle Coffee is the jam. Big fan of Black Rifle Coffee. Not only do I drink it every single day, but their apparel's the greatest, most comfortable shit on the planet. These are their new hats, by the way. What do you think of this? This is fucking awesome. God damn it. Their shit is just fucking dope.
Coffee to the rescue. That's what I feel like with that
big
hat.
fan. Big fan of Black Rifle Coffee. Use the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off on blackriflecoffee.com. It is a premium roast to order, so they make it in-house and then ship it out 2 days later. They're not fucking rebagging this shit. It's amazing. And for those of you who listen to my sister show, Drinkin' Bros, you can only use the promo code Drinkin' Bros once. So therefore, you got to use the promo code REVOLUTION.
Like, you just went
for 20% off. Something flew in front of me. I went Karate Kid. I caught a bee out of the air.
Crazy.
Just caught a bee out of the air. You're welcome.
Your eyes were just like kink for a second.
I caught a bee out of the air. To master it, to take it down, you've got to go cross-eyed to get in there. Also, for my Asian folks who are just turning,
who just turned off in the beginning.
At the beginning, actually, because we were
pretty bad.
Casual racism is what they call it.
Soups racist.
Casual racism is what we call it. I love Asian people. They're fucking awesome.
You do.
I do. I always do.
One of us really does.
Yeah. Oh boy, you.
Listen,
Jesse.
I can't.
You can't.
I'm not gonna get into it.
StraightRazors.com is our next sponsor. Jabes.
I'm joking.
I know you are. I know you are.
Okay, sorry.
Nothing like a little casual racism to warm up your day. StraightRazors.com is the finest shaving kit in the biz. These are my new faves. They're shampoo and conditioner. They get everything for fucking dudes. Not only do they have the best razors on the planet, they've got the number 1 ranked aftershave, number 1 ranked cologne. And they get safety razors in case you're afraid of using it. And it's the best kit you'll ever get. Get a fucking kit for your father for Father's Day. Like,
early.
Do something nice. Yeah. Because you're going to fucking forget.
True.
Go to straightrazors.com. Use the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. I literally use this shit every day. Just try a bottle of their aftershave, the Smolder. And use the 20% off. It'll be cheap. You will not go back to another aftershave. I guarantee it. It's the best there is. Last but not least, StrikeForceEnergy.com, who is on for all of 2018.
Yeah.
What a nice, beautiful thing. Big fan of StrikeForceEnergy.com. They got flavors. They got flavors. They got lemon, orange, Make America Grape Again. And original. They've also got this 750 milliliter bottle. Boom, boom. That can just rest on your bar top or countertop. And you can pop a couple squirts in and be on about your motherfucking day. Last longer than 5-hour energy. You can kick the can. You don't need the can anymore, kids. All you need is StrikeForceEnergy.com. Use the promo code Drinkin'. No, you can. Actually, you can use the promo code Drinkin' Bros for 20%
we're all
off.
friends.
Yeah,
we're all friends.
You can use the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. They're a sponsor on both shows, so I don't care. I don't care which you use. But with that being said, they ship everywhere in the entire world. And we had some people write in who were like, hey, I thought we would test your bullshit saying of they ship everywhere in the entire world.
Test it.
Yeah, they tested South Africa.
Okay.
And boom, motherfuckers got their strike force.
Listeners.
Yeah.
In South Africa.
Yep. And they got their strike force. Dead serious.
Hi. Hi, guys.
Hey. So we're filming, recording on a Groundhog's Day.
Sure.
If you will.
Sure.
And Groundhog saw his shadow, Jabes. Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow. 6 more weeks of winter. How do you feel about that?
Makes me sad.
Yeah. Do you think it's real?
Sad.
Do you believe in all that shit?
No. It feels like it is. You've seen all those memes about like January being like January 74th.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's, hasn't it though?
Yeah. Every year. January is my least favorite month.
Super long. Yeah.
Every year it's my least favorite month. I
could see it going 6 more weeks for sure. But go ahead.
Yeah, for numerous reasons. Like football is winding down.
Sure.
College football is over essentially. Like, and it's cold. I fucking hate it. February's fine. It's getting better. March is when I really perk up. March Madness is when I really get my head back in the game. That's when I really start my year, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, we go Vegas.
We usually
go LA.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's gorgeous.
It's great
and amazing.
And the games are on. It's a fucking blast. Ohio State's great this year.
fun.
We're going to the big dance again. Super stoked about that. But Groundhog's Day in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, I always get a little jealous when I see that party on the news and they pull out the groundhog. Because I went one year.
Oh, is it that
It's
crazy?
fucking awesome.
Okay.
It's so great. It
doesn't sound.
It is.
So what do you do?
It's really fucking fun. So here's what you do. It's in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
You go and the parties start the night before, so you go hard all night long. So essentially, people are out raging at like 6 p.m. the night before, and then it goes till fucking, they pull the groundhog out at like 7 in the morning.
They pull him out. What do you mean?
Sometimes, because he looks cold.
That sounds aggressive.
Yeah, but he looks cold, so sometimes they got to yank him out, and it's just like,
Okay.
hey, he's not like voluntarily coming out. They knock on the thing. Sometimes it comes out, sometimes they don't. And with that, there's probably, at least when I went, and I heard it's gotten way, 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 way bigger. But after the movie Groundhog's Day, people started going.
Oh yeah.
And when I was there, it was a long time. I was in college. I want to say there was like maybe between 6,000 and 8,000 people. I heard now it's over 20,000.
I bet
20 to 30,000 people, and you go and you rage all night long. You stay up all night. Then you get up. They pull the groundhog out. They do the whole thing, and then you rage until like noon, however long you can stay up, and then you're out after that. But it is a full entire day party, and it is it's a blast. I stayed at one of their little inns.
Oh God!
And you have to book like way in advance.
Does it look like the one from Groundhog, like that kind of thing?
The
Boutique?
town has that feel. There was. When I was there, there was only like one bar and only a couple hotels. So people had to stay either far away or
Right.
further away from the town itself. It made it more quaint in the movie. I'll put it to you that way. It was fine. It was just a really small town who had gotten bombarded with this huge movie and this thing. And look, it was a long time ago. So I would assume, I would say maybe, I don't know, 16 or 17 years ago I went.
Okay.
I would assume now they've probably done it up and made it amazing. But that's one of my favorite movies of all time and was back then, which is why I went, where I was like, all right, cool. I was living on the East Coast and I was like, oh, I want to go and do this once in my life. And I got to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. And it was a blast. The people in the town were cool.
It's probably ruined now. Like most things that are like quaint and cool like that, we ruin them. And there's probably so many people, it's just not even fucking fun anymore. Oh, come on.
It brings in a lot of commerce and shit, so I don't know. I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
Are you a fan of that movie?
Yes, I love it.
Great, isn't it?
Well, I'm a Bill Murray fan.
I am too.
So
there's a weird story about that movie.
What?
Him and the director, Harold Ramis was the director. Brilliant, genius Harold Ramis. He's directed
Caddyshack.
or written some of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah.
It is hard to understate how brilliant that man was.
Right.
To me, that's arguably comedically one of the best to ever do it. He was best friends with Bill Murray. They had done a bunch of movies together. That movie broke up their fucking 30-year friendship.
Why?
Bill Murray didn't like the movie. And he did.
It was one of those that
it.
he couldn't tell the greatness while he was doing it. He just thought it was stupid.
What I read was that he kept bumping in. He didn't agree with how it was being portrayed in the movie, and the premise of it. He thought it was stupid, and just didn't think it was going to be very good at all. And so Harold Ramis kept telling me it's going to be awesome. You're great. This is great. This is how it needs to be played. X, Y, and Z. I think Bill Murray wanted it to go even darker. That was the rumor, but
that's Bill Murray though.
Yeah,
he would always want it to go darker.
I guess.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know him. So the thing about it is I've bumped heads with the director before, where just you have the wrong vision, and I've lost friendships over it, and I get it. I wonder what it's like now, all these years later, because Harold Ramis passed away, And I heard when he was dying, Bill Murray went and visited him, and they patched things up or talked, or at least talked, or whatever it was. But I wonder what he thinks now, all of these years later, that this movie is so beloved.
But he should have just listened. I think that would be. Do you think that at all? With whatever you bumped heads with your project, no. Do you look back and go, no. I wonder if I just would have went with it?
I did go with it, and I hated the movie.
Okay.
And but it can go both ways. So you can end up in something great where you're like, oh man, I was not expecting this. Or you can end up in something shitty, and you don't know. And if your two best friends making a movie together and you guys disagree on how the project's to go, or you're not happy with it, like it'll fucking end a friendship. For
sure, but don't you feel like people should stay in their lane to make things work? As far as like the director is the director, but the actor is the actor.
The director had said, Harold Ramis allegedly had said, hey man, how about we both stay in our lanes on this one and just do the movie as it is? Right. And then, if you had problems with it, you shouldn't have done the fucking movie.
Right.
But I mean, they're doing, like a Broadway musical. It's becoming a Broadway musical. It is a big deal. Like it's an all timer for me personally. Yeah. Like I would say it's in my top 15 of comedies of all time. Would you say that? Would you?
Yeah. Top 15. Yeah.
Yeah. And, sure. Strange.
Yeah.
Strange how it can ruin a friendship. And we just watched a movie about that on Netflix, which made me kind of depressed. And I want to talk about it because I want to get this movie out there. The movie's called A Futile and Stupid Gesture. And it was about Doug Kinney, who ironically was best friends with all of these guys. Mm-hmm. And he started National Lampoon. He wrote Animal House, wrote Caddyshack. Wrote, those are, in my mind, the two greatest comedies of all time.
Yes.
Hands down for me. Like, there is no debate. The only debate is which one is 1 and which one is 2 for me, as far as Animal House and Caddyshack go. But it was the same thing where he hated that writer hated the movie. He hated Caddyshack. Like, to the point where he told everybody that he fucking hated it. And then it was a piece of shit.
Right.
Because they wanted to put the fucking gopher in it that the studio did.
Didn't they do it?
Yeah, they did. They put the mechanical gopher all throughout the goddamn movie.
People love it?
It's one of the greatest comedies of all time.
I don't know.
And like
I don't think it benefits anyone to be like, I don't like the way that this is going. Once the wheels are already turning, don't you feel it's like that's only going to ruin
yes.
stuff? But anyway,
so take for instance the movie I bumped heads with on the director. I didn't agree with. I let it go. Like I did the movie as
you have to,
as I was paid to do, and then later on down the road was just like, hey man, I fucking hated this.
And that's with any job. It's like acting is a example, right? But any job, it's like if you have a certain lane, you're paid to do something.
Yeah, I played ball.
You either play ball or you don't, right?
Totally.
But it doesn't help for anyone at a lower rank to start telling the higher rank what they or whatever.
Yeah.
It's always problems.
But it totally ruined a friendship. But it's wild to me to look back at Groundhog's Day, and then we literally just watched this movie the night before about the making of Caddyshack and Animal House, where the guy who wrote the movie hated Caddyshack. Like,
so crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, he was going through his own shit, not to like spoil, but he had his own issues.
Well, look, it's a true story, and anybody at home, just look up this movie on Netflix because it's great, and I'd never fucking heard of it.
Good.
It's called A Futile and Stupid Gesture, and
Will Forte is on the.
Will Forte is the lead, who's one of my favorites today.
He's so good. I think he made it. In a lot of ways, he made
so
that
do
movie.
I.
Yeah.
But it tells you about the beginning of Chevy Chase, the beginning of Saturday Night Live, Gilda Radner, Bill Murray, Belushi, all of these guys. It goes through their life, and this writer who started National Lampoon and put all these people together and
put all them together, and then they all got stolen at some point, right?
They all got stolen for SNL, yeah, which I knew.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Yes.
Everyone. I mean, he put together this radio show that literally was Saturday Night Live.
Well, National Lampoon was a huge magazine in the 70s as well, back in the day, comedically.
Yeah, I'm just saying the performing part of it.
Right.
Was that radio show?
And like that was before my time. The radio show was before my time. Look, SNL was before my time. I didn't catch SNL until the 80s, you know? I went back and rewatched all of it afterwards, but it will tell you how they all got started, who they were. Chevy Chase does mountains of cocaine in it.
Mountains.
Yeah.
He just has a suitcase that like you open up and it has everything.
Yeah. Which was the fun days, and I went back later on in life and looked back at all that old National Lampoon shit after Animal House and Caddyshack, and their magazines were fucking brilliant. The one with the handgun, the most infamous one is the handgun against the dog's head that says, if you don't read this magazine, we're gonna kill this dog. And I
love stuff that like would never fly today. Like I love that kind of shit.
And I think that's why this movie in particular resonated with me right now during this moment. I turned in the sequel to, obviously, At Night She Cries While He Rides His Steed. When darkness falls, he doesn't catch it.
Sure.
And I got into it with my agent over how fucking crass and edgy the book was. And I was so pissed off about it. I'm still fucking pissed off about it today. Like right now, I'm fucking angry about it. But I watched this movie and I was like, man, these guys were really pushing it in the 70s. What happened over the last 40 fucking years that comedy took a step back?
I think it was the past like 4 years. But yeah.
And it just keeps happening and all of this shit. And fuck, At Night She Cries was 3 years ago. And you're right. It to me, your timeline
been a really
seems,
fast decline.
Really fast.
You can't do or say
anything, or somebody's gonna get offended.
Everyone's on. That's not a pop. It's not a fun conversation, but it's just.
So to that timeline, when I was thinking about it, I was like, all right, he got the first draft of that 4 years ago because that book came out in this summer. It'll be 3 years to the day, and I turned it in about a year before that. And you're right. It was a different landscape and a different climate. People have changed where it's just like, this is a guy, my agent, I didn't think he would change. I didn't think he'd be like this. And to fucking, to hear it out loud of like, oh, I can't do this. I can't fucking work on this. And then I got a fucking email on top of it that said, I cannot represent this or whatever. Like he was being watched. Like he was being fucking watched by his own agency, like they're reading emails, and that might be the case.
Can't really fault him for that, no? He could lose his job.
No, you can't. Like nothing has come out. There's nothing in there that's that crazy or Right. So yes. Do you have to do that in today's climate? Maybe you do. Maybe they are reading emails with all the Me Too and all the other shit, everything that
oh my God, they can't let one of them like either be like sexually, they have to know everything that's going on.
The thing that's disappointing though, again, is to see somebody turn into such a fucking pussy where you're just like, I can't believe it. I can't fucking believe it. And with this, like the book is coming out this summer and I'm doubling the fuck down. So like, things that were considered edgy or whatever, like they're going on the fucking cover now because I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Isn't that a little bit better? I mean, people are going to get a book that like...
they're going to get it from the same exact avenues.
How many things would have been
Barnes
cut
& Noble.
Out?
They're going to get it from Barnes & Noble, Walmart.com, all the same places. And look, this is the book I'm talking about, by the way. At Night She Cries While He Rides His Steed. And the reason why I'm holding it up is it got banned in Walmart. So it was in bookstores everywhere. It got banned in Walmart. My character's grabbing somebody's ass on the front. There's two pigs fucking on the back. It was already banned from Walmart when this came out in airports. Came out every other place that you could get this book. So me losing what a fucking few stores, brick and mortar stores. What's left besides Barnes and Noble? What is another bookstore left that I can't really think of one.
Books A Million.
Books A Million, I guess, but
they're on the way out.
They're on the way out as well, and everybody's ordering them online, and everybody's into audiobooks, and it's like it doesn't change anything for me personally. So I don't give a fuck. I don't care. The saddest part, though, is to watch everyone else change around you and to watch comedy change, because I'm such a fan of comedy. I'm such a diehard fan of comedy. Whether it's my own or someone else's, I just want to see funny, great shit being put out, and it's not happening. Like this fucking movie here, you scrolled through this and found it somehow. I don't know how you found it, because the thumbnail is Emmy Rossum.
Yeah.
Who's in the movie maybe 5 minutes.
But it's like, that's who's hot right now, whatever. And you're like, no.
But was it the title that made you stumble across it?
Yes, and there was
Did you see Will Forte's name or something?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
So there's two covers. I don't know why they switch. Netflix
One's like
switches.
They switch. They have the worst. Here's the thing.
Worst.
I love Netflix. They have the worst thumbnails for their movies of all time that have nothing to do with the theatrical poster or the movie themselves.
Yeah.
And so the one we saw was like Emmy Rossum, but it was like a psychedelic 70s movie. And I was like, I don't want to watch this.
Just press on it, because the one that I had seen before was Will Forte with his long hair and the glasses, and it just looked yellow background. Like, it was a great cover to make you be like, that looks weird and funny.
Yeah.
And then they switch it to Emmy Rossum, so then nobody's going to click on it. You wouldn't have.
I would not have in a million years.
They're dumb.
You found it, and you said, hey, click this movie on. It's Will Forte. And I was just like, awesome. And it's super irreverent too, and it's self-aware, where it was just like the guy is describing his life, and he was just like, great. He goes, hang on, let me stop you right here. Do you think Will Forte would really play me in a movie? And he goes, also, I'm 27 at this point in my life.
Yeah.
Will Forte is definitely not 27 years old.
Do you think Will Forte is 27? Let's suspend the disbelief and just go on with it. It's just like, it's good.
It's really great. I haven't seen a movie like that, and I laughed my ass off. And there's so many one-liners in that movie, and it's great. And I was like, fuck, here's a movie that deserves attention. Deserve theaters probably, right. And it not only did it get buried like on an Emmy Rossum thumbnail on Netflix, who's in the movie for 5 minutes, and I like Emmy Rossum, she's great.
She's really good, actually.
Shameless is great. It just wasn't her movie. It was somebody else. She was in it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was an interesting thumbnail.
But with this, like that is a comedy that should have been in theaters. Should have gotten more press. Should have gotten more play. All of the comedies now are going straight to Netflix, which is fine, but there's no way to promote them or advertise them.
And you have to just click to be like, I'll try it
Click
out.
and guess.
And then they get that view or
unless you get word of mouth, which is why I'm talking about it today.
Right.
But this is also what makes me sad about what's going on in comedy is, Netflix is doing some edgier shit like this with like Wet Hot American Summer and all of that stuff. And that's great to see, but it's hard to find. And you're not seeing trailers of it anymore because they can't, Netflix makes so much original content. They can't spend that much money on marketing since they're spending all of their money making these films. Like it's too much all the way around. So like, how is anybody going to hear about this shit unless you tell somebody? Comedically, again, like books are getting killed. Fucking movies are getting killed. I've seen one comedy trailer that's coming out, two comedy trailers that are coming out this year. Date night?
Movie night. Game night, sorry.
Game night, you're right. Yeah. Again, that's how brief the fucking thing was. Game night is coming out, and it's an R. But the reason why I have like a confused look on my face right now is when I went back and rewatched the trailer, all of the quotes in it, usually it's from reviewers. It was from people on Twitter. So it was like, girl with the red umbrella, 88, said it was hilarious. And you're like, go back and watch the trailer.
On the trailer.
And you're getting random
weird
people like usernames where it's just like at St. James Street James. Like,
right.
What the fuck? I'm not a movie critic. Like,
sure.
So it seemed weird. Something seems off to me.
I guess I'd want to know what real people think of it. More than
I
critics?
guess. I don't know, but you can find anybody who would be like, fuck. You can find everybody who likes anything. Shit. I can pull up 10 people who thought Jar Jar Binks was awesome in that other Star Wars.
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
So I don't know what that does for you, but you have that, and then Cock Blockers, which is just called Blockers now, and it's it's one of my best friends wrote it. With John, but John Cena is the lead of a comedy.
Right.
And
it looks really funny.
The trailer's great.
Yeah.
But I don't, it's John Cena as the lead of a comedy. Like, to me, again, with these movies and the old school movies and the way things used to be, God damn it, man. You had Chevy Chase. You had Bill Murray. You had, heavy comedy hitters who just do comedy.
But they also
You're not putting a WWE wrestler as
Never.
the lead in a comedy movie.
Never.
Ever in a million years. People in the comedy world would have fucking raged against the machine back in the day. Now you kind of just shrug and you're like, it's either him or The Rock.
Ugh.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know what you would describe Jumanji as. You saw it. Was it a comedy action movie? Probably.
Yeah.
Right.
Not super funny.
The Rock was in Baywatch last year. That's who they're putting in comedy, is not real comedians anymore. There's no edge to any of this shit. And
edge, that's what it is. Like, there's nobody that pushes boundaries. So that's obviously with books. They don't want that.
No.
They don't want it with
They
movies.
definitely don't want it with books.
They don't want it with like anything. Sketches, like your stuff will get pulled. Like, you can't push any boundaries the way that they used to in the day. The Bill Murrays, Chevy Chase, like, they did some super edgy shit.
Oh, yeah,
that you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
holy, okay.
Yeah. I remember when they used the N-word on Saturday Night Live with Richard Pryor and Chevy Chase. And the sketch, dude, and Richard Pryor looked at him and then called him a honky after that. And it was just like, to this day, and I can't believe it. But
I love that shit though. And
same.
And that's
40
dying.
years later, we've regressed in comedy. Like, how is that possible? And these guys were the fucking best. Like, I tried my fucking ass off to get Chevy Chase in Range 15 just because I wanted to work with him one time. We offered him the sun, moon, and stars financially, just because he is one of the best. And those guys were pushing it back in the day. And that was the best comedy back in the day. I would say the only thing that's been close to that is Borat.
Yes.
Anchorman.
Yes.
Yes. And I love those films. I love Sacha Baron Cohen. Will Ferrell's movies are great. Step Brothers, all of that shit. But the last, 5 years, what have we had? What have we had in that realm? Like, I feel like maybe that last Sacha Baron Cohen movie was the last one where he had his dick out.
Yeah, Bruno. Yeah. No, the Dictator one. He really. That's when he got like.
It was okay.
But that's where he was doing the same stuff, pushing boundaries, and they were like, and that was when people were like, we can't. He cannot be on the red carpet. He's not allowed to be anywhere because he pushes boundaries and he's unpredictable, which is the way that. Do you remember when Jim Carrey got up at the fucking?
Yeah.
I mean,
and again, Jim Carrey's off the reservation now, so he's gone.
But that
Will Ferrell's only making family movies.
No one would even come dressed like that, stay in character the whole time.
No.
People would be like, there's something wrong with him. You know, he has an issue mentally.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on with him. It would be all over the place. So you can't even do funny shit like that. And that was fucking hilarious.
And I like Apatow. I would say Judd Apatow is the only guy who could push something like that through studio wise now.
Right.
But he would have to take a pay cut. So would everybody else, and take points in the back end and go for it.
Right.
That's what Todd Phillips did for The Hangover to get that movie made.
Yeah.
He took all back end on that and took, They gave him a very small budget, $30 million for the first Hangover. And he was like, great, let me cast the people I want to cast in it. Let me make the movie I want to make.
We have an Asian guy jumping out with a small
buck naked.
penis.
Yeah.
Like,
and let me go hard. And what's that number?
right.
And they're like, great, cut your quote down. You can take it all in the back. He's richer than Jesus after that, which is amazing. But
So smart.
why aren't they doing that now? I don't get it. Why isn't any filmmaker doing that now? And, a lot of people have asked me, like, dude, why don't you, we love your movies, Ross. Why don't you make more crazy fucking movies like FDR American Badass or fucking Pool Boy? Jesus Christ. I would say Pool Boy Drowning Out the Fury is probably the edgiest movie you will see in the last 5 years, I would say. Mm-hmm. I would put that movie in particular. I mean, I went for it, and I got pushback from agencies who were just like, I can't have my clients in this. I had fucking actors call me and say I can't do this fucking movie, who were friends.
That's what I liked about the National Lampoon thing is
same.
Like they would get sued.
Yes,
It was like
yes.
everything they tried to do, and they were just like doing it anyway.
It was great.
Doing it anyway.
And,
like,
and the reason why, so the reason why is you can't get financing for that shit anymore.
Right.
I can't. I am sitting on a stack of fucking movies that would be higher than this goddamn chair. I cannot get financing for crazy shit like that. If I want to make something PG or G, sure. I'm not interested in that fucking bullshit. I don't want to make that. I want to make these crazy fucking movies that really push the boundaries of things. I want to write crazy fucking books. Luckily, with books, I'm able to do that. I'm not reliant on another financer or an agent or a fucking manager or any of that bullshit. So like, yeah, I can still push it there. I can push it there. I can push it on the podcast, and I can push it on the audiobook. So when that book comes out this summer, when darkness falls, he doesn't catch it. You'll know goddamn well what I'm talking about. Of nobody's writing or doing anything like that in today's world, and it takes somebody like me, not to fucking be an asshole or like, champion myself like a fucking Rose McGowan, but it takes somebody like me who can say, fuck you, I'm going to put this out anyways, and there's nothing you can do to stop me to get it done, and I'm going to. I'm sure there'll be some blowback over the book of like, oh my God, I can't believe you said or did this. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. And again, I'm not relying on an agent or a manager to fucking do this shit, so fuck them. It is what it is, but I am really happy that you in particular pulled this movie out of the fucking depths of the basement that night and made me watch it, because it made me feel better about everything that's going on today and today's
pushing it through.
Yes, in today's current climate, and it's just fucking do it, just fucking make it. It's what I've always done. Movies is a little more difficult because there's so much money to make a film. It just costs a lot of money to make a film that you truly need outside help. Unless any of you at home are worth $1 gajillion and want to slide, if you slide $1 million my way, I'll make fucking 3 of those goddamn movies and push it to the edge.
Yeah.
So
the other thing is, in those movies, it's when people push the boundaries like that and just keep going with their vision. A lot of times in the documentary of their life or whatever, which is this movie is they're not super rich. They're not, they don't really make it in the mainstream. They look back on their life and they go, this guy like just pushed it and he didn't give a fuck. And he just like went with his vision, whether he had to do it himself, whether he was being sued all the time. Yes. And in the time as he's in it, it's like so hard, right? Yeah. He's like, it's not a glamorous story. It's a story of someone that wasn't going to take no for an answer, knew that it was fucking good, knew that people were going to love it, and did it anyway.
He was rich, though, I will say that.
Towards the end.
Yeah.
He got
really rich. But
he was older when he got money. So like from college to the time of getting money, it was a long struggle.
But whenever you start your own company or anything like that, you're doing something edgy, it takes a long time, yes.
Yes, but the point of what I'm saying is that it's not like, the rewards you may not see as you're in it, as far as like, I'm just going to do this.
Right.
And hopefully people will respect that and be like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. And like, check it out or whatever. And it may not be for a while or whatever, but when you look back, like if you wanted to look back on your life and the way that you did it, it would be like, I always did it the way that I wanted to.
do,
and a lot of people told me no, and a lot of people told me it was, too much.
I've heard no,
and I kept doing it
million times. Totally.
I didn't make the PG. I didn't go and do the fucking whatever House is Dead or whatever you turned down or whatever that was just like too fucking shitty. Yeah. You were just like, I'm not doing that.
Well, I took
right?
that movie.
Sorry. What was another one?
I took the money on that. There's a difference,
not that one. Not that
one.
There was another one. I'm sorry. They wanted you to like write something and you were just like,
oh, yeah.
Can't. Anyway,
writing wise, yeah.
I don't want to say what it is.
I've turned down a lot. Yeah, exactly.
To where you were just like,
There's a lot of scripts I've turned down.
My life is not going to go that way.
Exactly. To write a G movie and things like that. But So
it's the point, you guys, if you think about what your documentary would be. Like
your life documentary,
yes. The life documentary, even when you're in the shittiest parts of your life, right? Yeah. If you're moving forward with what you want to do or what you
believe in,
even if that's just raising your family. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even if you're just a good person, like looking back on the documentary of your life, this part will be, set it to some music, put a little slow motion in there, and it will actually be quite inspiring that you like got through it and you did it. So think about that sometimes when it's cold outside.
I know.
It's going to be 6 more weeks and people
winter.
are telling you no because the fucking world is shitty now.
I know.
And not funny anymore.
And boring. And it fucking sucks. And by the way, Douglas Kinney is going to be the revolutionary figure of the day for me.
Nice.
For this reason, I'm going to do this a little earlier than we typically do. Just for the simple fact of when I was pulling the revolutionary figure of the day today, I went to IMDb and it's just the very first line on his IMDb was awful. It just said, this guy was completely unknown most of his life. And although he wrote 2 of the greatest things and inspired the greatest thing of all time and all of this shit. And like, even today, like reading that sentence on IMDb and reading the first 2 sentences, not only was it depressing, but then the other part of it is, even let's say he was alive today, because he kills himself. It's not a spoiler. It's a true story. It's a true story. So it's not a spoiler alert because it's a biopic. So, but he kills himself, and it's. Even if he was alive today and you told him they made a movie about his life and they were like, hey, guess who's on the poster on Netflix? Emmy Rossum. And not you. He'd be like, of course. Like he would have gotten a giant laugh about it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
He'd be like, that was my life.
And look, he was best friends with Harold Ramis. Harold Ramis had the best quote of all time at the funeral. This is how edgy and awesome it used to be. Because again, it is not like this anymore. Mm-mm. But the guy jumped off a cliff. Doug Kinney jumped off a cliff in Hawaii.
You are giving it all away.
That's how he died. Everybody know, like it's a biopic.
I didn't know, but go ahead.
It's a biopic. So Harold Ramis at the funeral said, Doug probably fell while he was looking for a better place to jump. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah.
And knowing that someone would appreciate that being the sentiment of their funeral.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people like, I want people to laugh. Please make jokes. But they won't. No. You can't, right?
Nah.
These people really did.
I would. I remember one of my best friend's funerals. Before it got started, we were telling stories in the church and just dying laughing until we were crying. And then the body came in and they did the whole ceremony. But like, we laughed our asses off that day, and like me personally tried to make it as light as it could be because he would have wanted that, and like that's exactly who he was.
I would want.
Same here, and that's what this the funeral turned out to be, and all this other shit. But like, yes, like. I mean, it's
hard for people to go there.
It is, and I waited until like family members weren't around,
right?
So it was just like our close friends. One of my best friends from high school had passed away, and I mean we were going hard in the paint on jokes. Like
sure,
we went to a bar afterwards, and like I ironically, like he had gotten fucked up at this bar like the night before he died. So it was, we went back to that bar and we were like, sure. Oh God, we're terrible people.
Right.
Like just to break the ice and,
right.
But that's the way to me life should be. And fuck, man. I don't know. I look. Well, the long and short of this is I appreciate that you popping that up, and the morning after we watched that movie.
That was kind of perfect timing, huh?
It was
for what you're going through.
Amazingly perfect timing. But the morning, so I woke up the next morning because it was like 2 nights ago, whatever. I woke up the next morning, and the first thing that pops up in my news feed is a remake for the movie Crocodile Dundee.
I saw that
with Kenny Powers, Danny McBride,
and your girlfriend.
Margot Robbie, yes, of course. Which I'm sure she's super stoked in the middle of an Oscar campaign that they're dropping.
Dundee comes out.
Yeah, because that has fucked people in the past. In particular, Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy, he was the best example. He should have won Best Supporting Actor for Dreamgirls, and they dropped the trailer for Pluto Nash right during the Golden Globes. He had just won the Golden Globe, and then Pluto Nash trailer, and people are like, "Fuck off with this shit."
It's not like Redmayne that gets like the next like Oscar trailer dropped while he's
You know
what I mean?
In the middle of it, exactly. So I'm sure Margot Robbie's like, "Hey, bro, can we have waited just one more fucking goddamn month
you're
for
hot right now. We
Crocodile
gotta put
Dundee?"
it out.
Exactly. And when I saw that, I was just like, man. And again, there's the Hemsworth in there. In a comedy.
They gotta plug him in somewhere. They've always got to plug one in.
Comedy, man. Like, he's in every comedy now. I think he's a great actor. I enjoy him as fucking Thor. He is not a fucking comedian.
Yeah, he is not funny. He is not funny. He's not even straight man funny.
No.
Which you know what they're trying to do, but it's like he can't even do that.
No.
Because he's kind of trying to be funny.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You have to do it totally dry.
Totally dry. Like Bateman. Jason Bateman's a perfect example of that. And look, Bateman's great at drama and comedy, but like when I saw that the next day, I was like, oh my God, I just woke up to Crocodile Dundee. And I assume it's a comedy. It looks like a comedy. It's rated R. Look, the first Crocodile Dundee was not a comedy. So like if you go back and watch it, you have the catchphrases from that movie, because as a kid, that was a movie I saw in the movie theaters. You had the catchphrases of like, oh, that's not a knife, what's a knife? But it was a kind of a dramatic movie.
There were some funny,
there were some funny one-liners that he did, and like his things in New York and all of that shit.
The end, where they're walking over the people together.
God, I want to say, if memory serves me correctly, like I want to say the writer for like Crocodile Dundee got nominated for an Oscar. I know that sounds fucked, but I think he did. I think he did. Anyways, I wake up and I see this, and this is the new comedy that's coming out, and they're really pushing it. And it's coming out this summer. That's going to be the summer comedy, I guess.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know because I can't tell. But because again, the first one was a drama. So that's where we're headed. Meanwhile, I've got to fight for a fucking book and to be edgy and all of this shit. Yeah. So
Golden Globes won. Paul Hogan won Best Performance.
Yep.
Oscar Best Writing Screenplay. Paul Hogan though.
He wrote the movie.
Wrote it with Ken Shady and John Cornell. But
so they did win the Oscar for Crocodile Dundee.
I love that movie.
I did too. But again, that movie was a drama. Like, now they're remaking it as this campy comedy, which is fine.
Is Paul Hogan alive?
Oh boy. Oh
no,
boy.
He's not.
I don't know. I don't know whether Paul Hogan's alive or not. But when I saw that the day after, I was just like, of fucking course.
Yeah.
Because to me, when I watch that trailer, it's got like a Baywatch vibe to it, where great, we'll take a title and make it something and fucking whatever. But it's just such a goddamn disappointment. The one that wasn't disappointing though was Martin. Martin's coming back.
You're into that.
Love Martin.
I think he's still alive.
All right.
1939.
Classic Jabes. Ooh.
How old?
No, he'd be 79.
I think he's alive.
If he's 79, we'll find out. Best producer in the biz, James. Best producer in the biz.
I think he's alive, but there's no way to find out.
No.
There's no way.
I know. Google doesn't exist for you.
There's no way to find
world.
out. I'm just going to have to guess, huh?
No. But hey, but before we get out of here, Martin coming back.
Sorry. You love that. Yeah.
Martin Lawrence, I love. You want to talk about who used to be an edgy comedian. Fuck. To this day, even as a stand-up, to this day, I will tell you this. Everybody will say Richard Pryor is their favorite comedian. Richard Pryor Live on Sunset Strip was probably their favorite fucking stand-up movie. Not even close for me. To me, as a comedian, fucking Martin's You So Crazy is the best fucking hour and a half of stand-up I've ever seen in my entire life. I was like, to me, the one twosies of it for me, Richard Pryor's down that list a little more for me. Onesie twosies, I know it sounds crazy, but it's true.
I agree. I'm just like, everyone would say Pryor. It's crazy.
Everybody always says that because he was like the originator who started the edgy shit, and I respect it. And I think it's amazing. Okay. However, I think pound for pound, if what I've laughed the hardest at was You So Crazy was number one, stand-up special. Number two was Eddie Murphy Delirious. Those are my 1-2s, and you can't. Those two guys can't be touched. When that TV show was on, it was fucking awesome and hilarious, and like it seemed like he was improvising, even though it was a sitcom. And I was like, "Fuck, man!" To this day, I've never seen anybody improv on a sitcom, and it seemed like the whole goddamn show he was doing shit like that. So if they end up getting back together and let him do his crazy shit again, I'm in. I'm in for that. If we're just remaking and rebooting or reimagining everything, fine. Bring those two back and do it. Like,
he was Kevin Hart before.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? That kind of like short man,
but he was also cool, like
super funny.
And I, by the way, I love Kevin Hart, and I owe a big majority of my career to advice that Kevin Hart gave me. I've said this before, right. But I don't understand why you can't transition Kevin Hart into like Martin Lawrence and do like a Bad Boys movie. Because I just saw that they're doing another Bad Boys movie. It just got picked up. Yeah, so it's Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. They're going to come back and do one. I think it's called Bad Boys Forever.
Gosh.
Yeah. But Kevin Hart, to me, now that he's jacked, he's a good-looking dude. Jacked now, you know. I don't know why he can't make that switch. He's about the same height as Martin Lawrence. Why can't he make the switch and be cool, where it's like, all right, I'm going to be a badass, but I'm also going to be funny. Kind of like Eddie Murphy. When Eddie Murphy made that switch of like, yo, man, Eddie Murphy, though, is fucking cool.
He's just cool.
He's cooler than everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
he never did the like, I'm not cool stick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He never did the like, I'm the bumbling friend.
Yeah, I'm bumbling,
that's like, which is Kevin Hart's kind of thing now.
48 Hours in Beverly Hills Cop. You go back and watch Eddie Murphy in there, and you tell me that every motherfucker on the planet didn't want to be Eddie Murphy after watching those movies. You're crazy. Same with, fucking Belushi and Chevy Chase and all those guys. I mean, as a kid watching Caddyshack and all that stuff, I was like, God damn, I'd want to be Chevy Chase growing up. It'd be amazing. Anyways, I've fucking ranted enough today. It's nice having you back, Jables.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's alive.
Yeah, he is alive. Paul Hogan. There
He's alive. He's 78.
10 minutes later, we got it.
Listen.
And I was right. I was right on the age, 78.
Listen.
God, I'm quick at math.
So I want to just really quick. He married this lady named Noel Edwards.
Okay.
From 1958 to 81. Married her again.
Yeah, why not?
82 to 90, they gave it another go.
Yeah.
They gave it another go. And then he said, fuck it, and married the girl from Crocodile Dundee.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know they were together? Yeah.
No.
They were together until 2014.
That's great. Mm-hmm. Fuck.
Yeah, he gave it a go with the same gal.
Yeah.
And he said, you know what? Let
me
just be with
back to
hot
Crocodile
ass.
Dundee.
Yeah.
That girl was hot too. I don't remember her name or whatever.
She was
sexy. And like, again, that was the other thing I miss about, like, you had sexy women back then who were just like, oh, she was kind of older. I couldn't tell her age. Like she was.
Sure, like the Top Gun girl.
Yeah, like Kelly McGillis and them. You know, we're just like, man, they could be late 30s. I don't really know. They could be late 20s. Who fucking knows? But they were sexy. Like, yeah, look, shit was rad.
Linda Kozlowski.
And whatever. She was hot. I don't care what her name was.
And she continued to be hot, by the way, like in her older years, like the picture of them when they're like older, like she is killing it still.
Good for her.
Because when you start out as an older, sexy actress, you're just going to get older and sexier.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, she got old. It's like, no, she's always been old.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, that's hilarious. Thanks for sticking around, kids. Jabes.
Yes?
So good to have you back.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For everybody who's listening at home, wants to send something in to Ross Patterson Revolution. I've been drinking some fucking awesome beer. I won a bet with a guy from Rochester, New York. I've been drinking that beer all fucking weekend. Thank you for sending it to me. Send it to P.O. Box 3793, Wilmington, North Carolina, 28406. I am Ross Patterson. That is Jesse Wiseman, a.k.a. the Jables. This is The Revolution. Good night, everyone.
Good night.